멈춰라. 네가 갈 길이 아니야.
Let's go, Gideon!
미로왔습니다.
7K Dreamer, please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be checking out Gideon in the most cancerous team, that is the Death Team. He was kind of designed for that, okay, because his passive does, decrease status effect resist rate of the enemies by 40% without any conditions, unlike previously we had Eileen, right? Okay, so for his gear, I've given him double crit, so he can land death better, double HP, and for the accessory, Guardian Ring with height and purification. This will keep him, healthy and also allow him to, continuously move. For his jewels, he has damage reflect immunity because he does have a fixed damage skill that can hit very hard, so I really need him to have the reflect, otherwise he will die super fast. He also has cast rate increase as a myth substat, and crit lethal rate increase so that he does more damage, and the final one being survive on 1 HP of course. Now you may think that why not give him increased awakening gauge, but his awakening skill is actually fast enough because it's kind of like a shorter gauge, right? So if you watch a live stream I did 2 days ago, you will realize that even with this setup, he can actually get his awaken skill very quickly, and the moment he resets his cooldown with his awaken skill, he can continuously loop his skills without any problem at all. So he virtually has no cooldown, to be, precise. So this is his exclusive item, level 44, and for his traits, I've given him 3 resistances: Silence Resist, Sleep Resist, as well as Paralyze Resist. Paralyze Resist mainly because there's so many antis around, Silence against Yonhee, and Sleep also against Yonhee, because if Yonhee touches him, then I won't be able to see much of his action, right? So of course, with that, we are going straight in with the Death Team. This is the current Death Team setup I used for the recording and also during the live stream. It actually worked out pretty fine during the recording, unlike the live stream which I faced some trouble with, so I was quite thankful for that. And thank goodness, it actually gave me about 6 wins out of 10. One of them was very close. So I think it could have been a 7% win rate, 70% win rate overall. So in the Death Team, he basically helps to reduce defense of the enemies as well, but that's not really necessary because you're not really gonna do much damage. After all, you saw that Gerard just straight off killed 1 unit, and here also. Yeah, so in terms of damage wise, it's not that important, but he does take 40% reduced damage for himself, so he is able to survive a little longer. His death skill is actually on the bottom skill, so later on you guys will see, I think it's about time here, yeah. So this goes in very well because he has a 4-man death skill. Okay, Chris has a 3-man, I believe, and a 4-man or 5-man. So all in all, when you combine everything, this whole team is pretty tight, to be honest, okay? Not only that, his top skill also has an isolation, AoE isolation, so it also helps to, let the Death Team survive a little longer and a little better in terms of the meta right now, which is very, very heavily damage oriented, okay? His awaken skill is pretty amazing. It deals 40,000 fixed damage, and this can be increased to 60,000 if you do give him the limited trait that increases damage dealt to enemies. And this match, I deliberately wanted to put it in because this is the Death Team at its finest. Honestly, this is the best situation for the Death Team. Now, because of the speed mechanics in the PvP right now, sometimes your Death Team won't go first, and I think they deliberately are not changing the speed mechanic because of the Death Team, because if they did revert it back to a situation whereby you always go first, then the Death Team is going to have very clear advantage, and everyone is probably going to run some death resist somewhere, and I think things could get a little limited. Now this is just one of the rationales that I just thought about, because you will really feel it when you get cut by the speed, random speed beginning, right? Because I faced quite a number of times where I didn't go first, and this also happened in live stream where I didn't go first and the Death Team just dies very, very quickly. So the Death Team, in a sense, it's either a make it or break it. As you saw this whole match, Gerard just clutched it. Like, he just kept doing his effect attack, which is insane, right? Yeah, so overall, I feel that the Death Team is, you either make it or you break it. It's all or nothing for my case. Yeah. So in this case, I think this was a losing match because I got severely destroyed based on the Yonhi sleep, which is very unfortunate, okay? So I also deliberately wanted to put in this match because I wanted to show you guys the effect of Rangrid. I do foresee Rangrid coming back. Unfortunately, you saw that maybe Chris's casting is pretty high, I don't know, but given the right formation and whatnot, you can actually resist the death very well with Rangrid. Unfortunately, the Rangrid died here, so things could change a little here. But nonetheless, if you face a Rangrid, there's a very high chance that if your status card rate is not high enough, which means you do not have the Fighter Soul to support that, then you may be in some trouble. So Fighter Soul in a death team is very important, especially in this case. So again, it would really benefit if my Gideon was level 50, so he can benefit from the Fighter Soul buff that increases status cast rate. But in this case, that's not the case, and I have to deal with him not being able to cast death sometimes. And also his isolation, even though it's not stated 100%, it doesn't seem to be 100%. Okay, it doesn't seem to be 100%. So that's something that I'm trying to grapple with. I'm not too sure because I've observed some situations where he doesn't cast the isolation all the time. So that's one problem. So yeah, we lost the other match, but this match we're back facing the very strong Magic team. This is pretty much the meta Magic team right now. Gideon doesn't do much damage at all in the death team, okay, but we are going to observe him tomorrow in another video with him in the Magic team and the offensive team. I think that will be a much fairer comparison between all his users, and probably will give you some room to think about where you want to use him as well. One thing is that he, with his exclusive item level 44, he does revive. So it's going to be very helpful because at the end, okay, towards the later part of the match, this is something that I'm just letting you guys know based on what I observed in the live stream. So what happened was he revived and the enemy was pretty much already half dead, right? And when he used his awaken skill to apply the buff block on enemy Rudies, the Rudies cannot cleanse, cannot bring up their skill nullification. So that is quite a beneficial thing, whereby because he is able to revive and survive a lot longer than usual heroes, applying the buff block again and again could potentially get you the win against enemy Rudies, which are very tanky, and furthermore his awaken skill does fixed damage. So he can easily cripple enemy Rudies, and that is going to allow you to secure some wins. Okay? For his effect attack, he does apply Fear for 2 turns. But in this case, it's not very good because I feel that there's really just too many antis in every single team such that you are not able to use his effect attack properly at all. So I don't think that's the best way to utilize him, whereby you give him speed and let him use his effect attack, because it doesn't do anything, to be honest. Yeah, so unfortunately we do lose to this Magic team, though I feel that again, if the match plays out and you do not land the death properly and fast enough, you are gonna die. Because Magic teams, they have anti who has very high skill use chance, and they tend to cleanse pretty easily. And I think if you watch this match earlier on, she did cleanse, right? So all my deaths are gone, and with that, it's very difficult to proceed. So over here is against an offensive team, and Gerard straight up kills the non-hiding Rudy. Most of the time I feel that Chris and Gerard are the ones that are carrying the death team. Okay, so Gideon here is just a support unit. Gideon mainly is a support unit, to be honest. Okay. I deliberately wanted to show you guys this match as well because there was a chip, and we rarely see chips, but this particular match is just really bad because my Gideon relies on reviving, so it was pretty difficult to get rid of the chip somehow. Like, this is literally a 1v5. Okay, this is a 1v5, just take note. And he got rid of like 3 of my heroes already. So Chip came in very clutch for the enemy right here. In terms of his isolation, I can't do any damage to him somehow. I think he has very high defense or something. Somehow the burn from my Wukong, not yet. Yeah, so his awakened skill here, he's gonna amplify the burn on me, which is not very good. And here my awakened skill hits through, and I thought I killed him, but no. Like, this was the saddest thing ever. So I thought I won, but no. Okay, anyway, so this match is against a Gideon offensive team. Gideon is placed at the back, which is pretty interesting because usually when you are running an offensive team, nowadays Jack is usually at the back of 5. Because Jack is just way too strong. So Gideon on the offensive team, we will review that tomorrow and what he actually does in the offensive team, which makes him good, right? But over here, okay, he's gonna use death on me. Hopefully I survive somehow. And then if his DPSs do have, you know, death as well, like on his villains who is now paralyzed, I could be in trouble, but thankfully I paralyzed him. You see that the offensive team still does heavy damage at this point, and just now Gideon's effect attack or something or counter that did do like 100,000 damage on my Gerard.
실험 시작. 넌 날 막을 수 없다.
Yeah, so the death is going pretty well, and I think honestly, you know, this is overall my thoughts on death is that it's still it's still a kind of like a cheat, you know, to cruise through arena sometimes. As much as I hate it, when you really put in effort to build a dev team, I know that many players who have a dev team are so proud of it, and it does take some dedication, to be honest. Right now, they do have a new toy to play with, and that is Gideon, and he is definitely a good contribution to the dev team and dev meta, who has not been changed and touched since Gerard's release. So, well, here's a new dev team for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, do give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Big shout out to my channel members, ZMD, Phoenix, Yamaki, Hajime, and Reggie Bautista for the support. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much, and see you!